Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Early Morning Quarter. I'm your host, Tristan, and today we're going to be covering Never Let Go from 2024. This movie was one that I did end up watching 4 different times, and I enjoyed it every time. Apparently, it's kind of like a movie where if you didn't like it, then you didn't like it. If you loved it, you loved it. If you just barely liked it, you barely liked it. It was it's a bit of a divisive one. But with a runtime of 1 hour and 41 minutes, I found it pretty enjoyable. Although there were, like any movie, there are some complaints. But for the most part, I loved the design of it. I loved the storytelling of it. The acting was really good. It's pretty much only got like 3 actors in it, which is Halle Berry, Percy Daggs the Fourth, and Anthony B. Jenkins. It was directed by Alexandre Aja, and I really don't have too much to say. Like this is a solid movie, and if you can go watch it, I strongly recommend that you do. Uh, so basically, about this whole world is that we have a mom and her 2 twin sons staying at this old house in the middle of the woods, and the house keeps them safe from what they call the evil. And to go outside the house and step off the house and everything, they have ropes that are tied to the foundation. So that way they can go and they can go explore and go to other places and such. It's a pretty cool concept, especially with how they go about it, and I think that uh everybody should go check this movie out. It's really one that even if you don't like it, I think you should at least be able to say that you've seen it. Okay, let's go ahead and get started into the movie right now. Okay, so we're kind of getting like we're kind of hearing the voice of the son Nolan, who Nolan is a bit of a troublemaker later down the road. But we are hearing Nolan talk about how it started like as a snake, then took other forms. And if the evil touches you, it will make you do bad things. And then we see a dead, rotting body. Like it's been sitting there for years and years, for sure. Uh, and then we see Halle Berry say a prayer before stepping out of the house. And of course, if you've ever been out in the woods, there's frogs, crickets, animal noises, all that sort of stuff. And she's kind of like stepping down the steps of the porch. She's still got a hand on the house itself, and she tries to touch the grass, I guess to catch a frog if it's there. And all the sounds of the frogs and everything stop. And then they all start back up again, but they are like distorting. It's pretty cool, but it's a very creepy thing to hear. So yeah, we hear these frogs like distorting, and we hear a bunch of them coming together. It sounds really cool, and then we hear like a groaning type sound, and it is this very messed up looking dude reaching through the front porch, basically off to the side, trying to get to her. It's a very creepy sight and sound. Absolutely love it. Uh, and then next thing we see is she's waking up the kids, saying 10-minute warning. And we also see Nolan is wearing like a bell around his ankle, which is usually kind of like a sign that he sleepwalks, stuff like that. We got told that one touch is all it takes without the rope. We see them eating breakfast, and it's not a big one. It's a small breakfast, and they are drinking tea. And Nolan feeds the dog and says we aren't the only ones starving. Talking about so they've got this dog named Coda, and Nolan is very, very attached to the dog. He was feeding it, and then his brother Sam got onto him, saying that he shouldn't be feeding the dog. And Nolan, of course, does not believe in not feeding the dog because he knows that the dog is also starving, which insinuates that they're also starving. But all three of them say this prayer before putting a rope around them, and they go in separate directions, basically trying to gather food or anything that they can eat. And whenever I say prayer, they've got like this prayer about their house where they're like, "Oh, house made of ancient wood, full of pure and good," something like that. Uh, I should have wrote it down though, but I did not. Oh well. I guess the only way you're gonna find out what they say is if you watch it. But yeah, no, they put this rope like around them, each of them, and then they go in separate directions. And we get some more like monologue from Nolan where he says, "Mama said the world was already bad before the evil, and that's why the evil is here now, is because we let it out," or something like that. We hear about how the kid's grandpa built the house and tied the ropes to the foundations. That way, their grandma could go outside of the house. But of course, one day she did not stay focused, and she forgot her rope or something. Is something that we are like hinted at later. Uh, but the kid Samuel, he had a slingshot. He did get a squirrel, and we actually see him knock it out of the tree. And then from distance, we see him like stomp on it too. It's like, oh shit. And the other kid is not hesitating. Nolan is not hesitating about any bugs or anything. Like he's just gathering whatever he can to eat. Oh, and he eats a frog. Like raw, just picks it up and eats it. And we hear the crunch and everything. It's very disgusting. But Nolan is climbing this tree because he sees that there is a bird nest up there. And he sees some eggs, but all of them are broken. Either they all hatched or something got to him, something like that. But he does see one on the ground, not that far away, but of course it is out of reach. Like his rope just does not have enough slack. So he starts to try to untie it in order to get enough slack to go get it because it's just right there, you know? But his brother sees him and threatens him with the whistle because all three of them wear whistles in case anything happens, which is a good idea. But uh, yeah, Sam threatens Nolan with the whistle, and then Nolan was like, I wasn't going to actually do it. I wasn't doing nothing like that. And then they started walking back, and Nolan hears his brother say, I got it wrote down. She loves me more. And then Nolan's like, wait, what'd you just say? Sam's like, what are you talking about? I didn't say anything. And then they start walking again, and Nolan steps on Sam's rope, causing him to fall down this hill, get untied from his rope, and break his ankle. So, it's a bad, bad situation. Of course, you grow up your whole life hearing never come off the rope, never let go of the rope, stuff like that. Yeah, it's a bad situation. But, yeah, he breaks his ankle. Nolan does blow the whistle, and we see Mama like running to get to them in time, and she has to actually cut her rope to get to them because it got snagged on something, and she knows every second counts. This thing almost got to them. Like, we see it just within reach. Like, is climbing up this hill to them while they are trying to climb out of the hill. And then we also find out that only sorry. We find out that only she can see it. So they get out of reach of it, they get the rope tied around them. And yeah, we find out that she is the only one that can see it. Which is, of course, a very curious thing. And whenever they get back to the house, she makes them put their hands on the cellar door, which looks like it's the easiest access to the foundation or something. I don't know. But she makes them put their hands on the door. She's holding a knife out towards them, and she's like, say it. Say the words. Because I guess the evil can't say it or something. But yeah, they pray, and then we see Halle Berry sitting on the porch fixing her rope. The evil is disguised as her mom, and it's like walking towards the porch or something. And next thing we see is Halle Berry cooking dinner, and she is cooking up like frog and the bugs and stuff. It's pretty gross looking, but she serves it all out, and let's just say it's not much. It really is not. Like, these people are starving. And Halle Berry does talk about seeing the evil as a little girl, and how it looked like a little girl getting her foot stuck in a gopher hole, and how she was screaming for days. And then we do see the body like deteriorating over time in this little scene, and it is the body that we did see at the very beginning. It's a very interesting thing, because it's also one of those things of, well, if it stays there that long, is it a real person? Like, the way that this movie is kind of designed is to make you question, is the evil real, or is she insane? And I absolutely love that aspect of, we as the audience cannot tell until it tells us. Like, until the movie actually legitimately tells us if it's real or not. But we see that she has this thing where she locks her kids in the cellar. But yeah, she locked Nolan in the cellar to, quote, like, purify his soul by getting him to imagine losing his mama, his brother, his dog, losing all three of them, losing the house, and then only having the darkness left, and then getting all of them back. It's like, okay. I mean, that's one way to make you grateful, I guess. Like, if you think of how you never have it anymore. But, uh, she kind of describes it as purifying your soul or filling the cellar with all your love. And then she's like, now it's Sam's turn. And Sam actually looks like kind of excited for it, even with his messed up ankle. But she says, remind the house why we deserve its protection. Like, she kind of views the house as like this sacred holy land that you have to pray to itself. Which again is like a very curious thing to me. Because I have questions about it. Like, why is this house protected? Even though part of their prayer is saying, oh, house of ancient wood, stuff like that. But next thing we see is Nolan drawing Samuel, and he drew him with like owl's wings so that way he could fly wherever and eat whatever he wants, which is a very, cute thing to do. Although I feel like that'd make you hungrier just thinking about eating all the time. But what do I know? Nolan does reveal that Mama killed their dad and their grandparents. And then Samuel, of course, is like, well, yeah, the evil got to them. But the reason why Nolan is being doubtful right now is because the evil did not touch him. They did not see or hear anything while trying to save Samuel. Which is kind of kind of one of the major plot points is Nolan's doubt. Which I don't blame him. I mean, any kid's gonna doubt you. Next thing we see is Halle Berry sharpening her knife on the front porch when she sees her dead husband walking up. And I did not write down everything he said. It was mainly about how, like, he did get close to the kids and might as well let me have them. I did write this down. Might as well give them to me, or would you rather watch them starve? And then in kind of a more demonic voice, it says, I'm going to make you eat your babies. Which is very, a very scary idea, that the idea that this evil can touch you and make you do something horrific like that. But we cut to Nolan helping his mama plant in this greenhouse and sees that she has this back tattoo of like a snake. And she said she got it before the evil, and for some reason, he's going to ask, what would happen if it touches one of us? And Halle Berry says that it will make us all kill each other because it can get into the house if it touches us. And we see their like food rations of like potatoes and all these other jarred goods and stuff, and we're kind of like being shown it's kind of like frames where it would be like, okay, this is the potato, and then it just like kind of fades out. Like, we are seeing their food rations going down. Like, eventually they have like nothing. They don't have any food rations anymore. They're literally having like pine needle tea and stuff. But uh, Nolan and Sam are looking up and they notice that it's a new moon and they ask to listen to the music. They ask their mom, and they've got like this record player that you like wind up, like a very old one. And they are listening to Big Rock Candy Mountain. And all three of them are dancing together, and uh we cut to after it, and we see Halle Berry taking a bath when she hears the floor creak and sees Nolan is sleepwalking again, and she took him back to bed and put the bell on him. And then we also cut to her getting all three of the ropes out of the cellar to tie all three together so that way she can go further out. She ties all three of them together and she gets her crossbow and she hears a crow. She kind of circles around this tree to get an angle on the crow, and she sees that this crow is plucking away at Nolan's eye. And then Nolan turns and looks at her, which of course is going to make you panic. So she ducks back behind this tree, gives it a second, and then goes back to take the shot after looking, not seeing her son. And then her son appears like just a few feet away from her. This is the evil making her see this, but with like a broken neck, like his neck goes at an angle, it looks weird, but basically scares her, makes her miss the shot. She doesn't hit the crow. And there's like around this time where we see like a creek of some sort or a spring, like running water and stuff. And my wife did say, why is she not fishing? Like, which for all I know, she done fished everything out of there. I've got no idea. That's what I'm going to assume. But yeah, we cut to her at this tree where she is cutting some bark off, and she is now cooking this bark because bark, well, certain kinds of it are edible. And although it's not the best thing for you, it is like a short term solution. But yeah, she cuts some bark off and cooks it, and uh, they're all eating it. And I think it's Samuel that says, "Yeah, use some sap. It makes it taste better." And then he goes, "Yeah, the sap makes it taste less like a tree," which is valid because I'm sure that it's not the most appetizing meal. But you really can't complain when it comes to this or starving more. Like, but it comes to all three of them collecting bark like the next day. Uh, and then we see Nolan, his rope getting snagged, and he gets dragged into this well, and we see this creepy thing at the bottom of it. Do not know what it even is, but yeah, he gets dragged into this well. But then he wakes up, and he is outside, and it is nighttime, and he does not have his bell on. So Mama somehow woke up, grabbed him, puts him in the cellar, and he pees himself. Like it's sad and scary. I'm sure, especially for him, that he just wants his mama to hold him. But she threw him in the cellar. And then she opens it up, sees that he peed himself, and then asks him, "Did you feel the darkness go away?" Which, yeah, like, I think I'd rather be like, "Are you okay?" But next thing we see is Nolan and Samuel in their beds, and Nolan is proposing that they leave the forest to get some food. But we see that Mama is like sitting up in bed, staring at this mirror, and she's looking creepy. And she's having like a vision of her eating someone. I don't know. I'm assuming that it's like her having a vision of the evil getting to her and making her eat her kids, is what I'm assuming. But now it's day, and Nolan is playing fetch with Coda, and Mama gets this box down. It's like a lock box of some sort. It's a big wooden box. But she gets it down, and she shows the boys her camera and like the two pictures that she kept, which is one of herself and then one of the three of them after they were born. And she's only got like one picture left. But she says that the camera can pick up more than just what we can see, something along those lines. And she is talking about how they have a lack of food and they can no longer feed all of them. And if they salt the meat, then Coda could last them like about a month before the meat spoils. And Nolan is like, absolutely not. I do not want to see my friend die. He is our family. Like, we cannot kill him. Which, yeah, is very sad. I think in this type of situation, I would rather just go ahead and kill the dog and get that bit of food. But in this moment, she has no game plan. Like, yes, you get an extra month, but you won't be able to do much in that extra month because, I mean, what's the plan for after Coda? I mean, you're not going to have anything, and you're just going to end up right back where you were. You're just, if anything, she should have had a game plan for like, okay, well, I mean, like after Coda, then we will have this, and that. But no, it's like, okay, after Coda, if the animals don't return, if the uh crops or plants don't pick up and produce more, then you are screwed. Like, you won't have anything, and your kids are going to starve. Except this time, they will not have their best friend. But it's a sad situation. But Sam is very loyal. Sam is like, yeah, we can kill the dog. And even he is offering to do it so that way their mom doesn't have to. It's a sad situation. But Mama takes Coda from Nolan to the greenhouse to put him down. And then Nolan shows up and cuts her rope with a machete and then shuts the greenhouse door, locks her in. Whew. Chills. That is a very scary situation to be in. Which I'm pretty sure like she wasn't gonna put him down anyways, because she was like hesitating for so long and like crying and shaking. It was bad. So I don't think she was going to do that, but the evil does end up showing up inside the greenhouse as her mom, calling her a bad little goat. Bad little goat. Caught sitting in my chair. Like, but, the evil shows up and Nolan and Sam are like physically fighting, and Of course, the evil is saying, I'm gonna make you eat your babies. So to prevent that, we see Halle Berry grab a piece of broken glass and cut her own throat open, which the evil did not like, and of course neither did the two kids. Very sad situation. I was not expecting that. I think it was the correct direction to go, though, is put the kids in a situation where they can no longer rely on her and have to make decisions for themselves. But Sam does get inside, and he ties her rope and his rope together, and he is like pleading, like, wake up, you're safe now, I've got the ropes tied together, wake up, mama. It's so sad. It is really sad. And then Nolan, being in like shock, is putting the rope around him, because I guess this is what made him believe. I don't know. But Coda like ran off. He's hiding somewhere, and Nolan is making tea for Sam. But okay, I should talk about the other night, the night before this, where we actually see Nolan inside with like music playing, and of course in the warmth of their home, getting a fire started, and we see Sam uh holding his mom like throughout the night. It is very, very sad. Very emotional. uh but yeah, Nolan makes some tea for Sam to help with his hunger, and Sam asks if he was outside laughing at him for not being able to save their mom. It's again sad. And Nolan says that he just had he was just dreaming. But Nolan says, I'm not going to let you die. And he gets all three of the ropes, ties them all together, goes out looking for food. And he actually is like drawing landmarkers, as we can see from his bedroom. He is drawing more landmarkers everywhere. And he eventually finds a road. But yeah, he finds a road, and I'm pretty sure this is like the first time he's ever seen a road. Kind of a curious situation. And he calls out for help and then heads back home, and he sees this hiker offering help. Just some random dude with a backpack with food in it. But Sam grabs this crossbow, aims it at this dude, and then there's like this back and forth, and this hiker's like, I'm just gonna leave. I'm so sorry for bothering you. I just thought you needed help, stuff like that. He tries to leave, and Sam shoots him in the back. This dude makes it some distance, but he does end up falling, falling down and bleeding out or something after calling 911. But Nolan does get the bag, which has like a lot of food in it. Of course, he's like on the phone with 911 while he's doing this. But yeah, he takes all the food back, and he eats like a can of chili cold. And Sam is refusing to eat any of it. And this is like an argument that they end up having. And I even wrote this down as a side note that these kids are fucking great. Like, they have really good acting, especially in this scene right here with the anger and aggression between them, even though it is like a mix of, they're both hungry, and Sam was like, I just don't want you to die. or Nolan just doesn't want Sam to die. And then I think it was Sam that said, well, at least we would be with Mama again. Would that be good enough for you then? I don't know. It's sad. But they also argue about the evil being real or not. And Nolan does end up falling asleep on the couch, and Sam eats. He chows down, which I don't blame him. But yeah, he eats quite a bit. And then he goes through the hiker stuff and sees his wallet where he's got a picture of him with, I'm assuming, his daughter. Then he goes out to the front porch and goes to the rocking chair that his mama always sat on, and he's got this flashlight that changes between regular light to the red light that kind of preserves your night vision. And then he sees a girl asking about her dad, and says that's my dad's flashlight. Why do you have it? What happened? And then she looks in the greenhouse and sees, a body there, and she's like, "What did you do? What did you do?" And she takes off running. So he is running after her, trying to explain that it was an accident or whatever. But she's like running in circles almost, making his rope get more and more tight. But Sam runs out of rope. So he's like, it's not real. It's not real. She's a real person. And he takes the rope off. And it was like the second he let it go, he sees the girl run off in a certain direction. And he keeps chasing her, and then it gets silent. And then we see these hands like hugging a tree. And then we see it like moving almost like legs. There's a bunch of hands. And it's like moving up this tree, and it looks so creepy. It looks very creepy, but it looks really cool too. Then we see something like behind him. It's kind of blurry, climbing down. Like I said, this kind of reminds me of like how a centipede moves. But he's looking around for whatever was causing the motion or movement, and then we see this girl in this weird form like bite his hand or lick it or something. Then we see a centipede crawl up his arm, around his throat, and then into his mouth and down his throat. And it looks so bad. So we now know that he is infected. But Nolan notices his brother is missing, so he gets rope and he goes looking for Sam. Sam kind of like draws him out into this more open area where he pulls the rope kind of far out before Sam actually then cuts his rope, and then the headlights of this busted down truck in the distance goes off. Like the headlights turn on, and we see Sam standing in front of those headlights, and it looks creepy. And then we cut to showing Nolan is now running back inside, which I do not blame him, but he runs back inside and he goes upstairs to see Sam in their mom's room. And he puts his hand on Sam and also puts his other hand on like the ceiling and is starting to say their prayer before Sam pulls out a machete and tries to like cut his hand off. But Nolan does like jump out of the way, and then he goes into like this bathroom or walk-in closet or something. And Sam blocks the door off to where he cannot get out. He uses the bed to do that. And then he sets the house on fire after also putting on some more music. And we see Sam outside with the camera, and he like takes a selfie for some reason. But Nolan crawls out of the window, and because they're on the top level, he goes in through a different window. And then he sees their mom, but her voice is like distorting while she's talking to him. So Nolan tricks her by running downstairs and then opening up the cellar. So that way the evil will think that he is in the cellar. So whenever she steps close to it to look inside, he pushes her in while also jumping in. And he closes it, and then he says that he loves her. I love you, mama, and like fills the cellar with his love, which kills this thing. Cut to seeing a medical helicopter flying out there, rescuing the both of them. They're headed towards the city, and then we see Sam say, "Mama loves me more," which is the end. Which I guess kind of means like that the evil is still inside of him, and I do not know what that means. I don't know, like if that means that it went with him to the city or what any of the plans are. Sorry, I'm gonna take a sip of coffee. Oh, that's good. But yeah, that was Never Let Go from 2024. Like I said, it's a good watch. I mean, just go watch it. We are going to get into some trivia, because trivia is always fun. But we got this first one. Mark Romanek was attached to direct the movie when it was titled Motherland before Alexandra Aja or Aja took over directing duties a month later. And the words "never let go" and variations of it, "let go," "I can't," are said a total of 10 times. 8 if you don't count the flashback repeating a scene. When Sam unfolds Cole... Okay, his name is Cole the Hiker. When Sam unfolds Cole the Hiker's map, Smoky Mountains, Welch Ridge Trail, and Nantahala National can be seen. The Great Smoky Mountains are a mountain range rising along the Tennessee, North Carolina border and are a sub-range of Appalachian Mountains. Welch Ridge Trail is a 6.8-mile trail within Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Nantahala National is a national forest and the largest national forest in North Carolina. Lastly, near the end of the film, one of the rescue crew has a shoulder patch which reads, Sevierville, Tennessee Fire Rescue. Sevierville is a Tennessee town located in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, about 15 miles from Tennessee's border with North Carolina. Irrespective of the map being part of a vision and potentially untrue or misleading, the patch strongly suggests the cabin is located in Tennessee or possibly North Carolina. And this one, movies in which a leader, be it of a family, group, or oppressor, imposes their view that the world no longer exists or has gone corrupt in many senses are The Others from 2001, Never Let Go from 2024, Dogtooth from 2009, 10 Cloverfield Lane from 2016, and The Village from 2004. Which is all trivia we got. I mean, I guess there really isn't much to go over, but yeah. Like I said, that was Never Let Go. If you've never seen it, please go watch it. If you have seen it, let me know your thoughts on it. This was a movie suggestion by somebody on my Instagram named... Let me pull it up before I get it wrong. because I would absolutely hate it. There are like two different movie suggestions that I gotta do. There's this one, and then there's also one called okay, yeah. Psycho X Jordy on Instagram recommended it or suggested it. Can't speak. Suggested it for this episode. So thank you so much. I hope that you all have a wonderful day, and of course, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. Leave a follow. Feel free to message. I pretty much always get back to any messages I receive. So I hope that you all have a wonderful day. Bye bye.